standing here in the hope that I get some lovely birds join us, because I've got some bird feeders there, so fingers crossed. The lighting's a bit weird, but there's nothing I can do to help that other than what I'm already doing. But yeah, so this week of me filming and uploading this, etc., it's Mental Health Awareness Week. Well, in England anyway, I'm not sure about other countries, but I just wanted to talk about mental health and where I'm at and my kind of eating disorder that I've never really mentioned on this channel before. So let's get into it anyway. So at the moment, mentally, gosh, put it this way, the pandemic hit my mental health pretty hard. And there's all this uncertainty in my life, and that is basically the root cause. Well, it's the main, only cause, you know what I mean. It's the cause to my poor mental health. So I'm going to get counselling, and I'm a very stubborn person. So for the fact I'm going for counselling, then I must be needing it. Put it that way. Can you see the birds there? They're so cute. Hopefully, well, thankfully, I mean, they're not put off by me stood here. But so there's that, because of all this uncertainty. So for example, I graduated in 2017, like July, and it's never been the right time for me to get a job, move out, do all those things. It just was not the right time. And I can tell that, like, the way things are going in my life, I'm getting closer and closer to it being the right time. So some of you guys might think that my channel isn't as interesting anymore, but honestly guys, the amount of changes I'm going to go through within the next year and a half, 2 years and longer is well worth sticking around for, because it's quite a lot, you know, it's a lot of life changes. So honestly, not going to be boring for much longer, I tell you that, gosh. But anyway, so as for this eating disorder, yeah, so in 2015, I wasn't coping well with the fact that I'd moved to university, which is Birmingham, the second largest city in England. Like, it was the busy part, and I wasn't used to the busy part. So there was that, and I realised, I was like, oh, I can eat whatever I want, or I can not. I have so much control over my life and what I do now, because I don't live at home, because, you know, when I was 18, 19. But at this time I was 19. And it got worse and worse, and I used to count calories, and I used to track everything on like an app, and I had one of those fitness watches as well, and it wasn't great, and I just fell into this downward spiral. And the university kind of how do you explain, like, the university's well-being advisors kind of picked up on it and were like, we're worried about you. You know, they like sat me down and says, well, you know, what's going on? And I explained, and they were like, well, what about when you can't do your degree anymore because you're so ill? I was like, oh, it won't get to that, you know. And I went to, like, there was like I was basically really struggling with it, but I didn't tell many people. And I was losing a lot of weight. Like, when I first went to university, I was something like 8 stone and 2 pounds or something like that. By the end, well, not by the end, by November 2015, sorry, I was like 7 stone 3. So that's how much weight I lost. I was 8 stone 2 when I first went to university in 2014. October 2014, and by November 2015 I was 7 stone 3. So that was really bad, and it got so bad that I ended up going to the doctors with my mom, because my mom made me go, because I basically told her what was going on and she was really upset. So there was that, and we went to the local doctors and explained. I was like, oh, I think that it's eating disorder not otherwise specified, like it doesn't fit into a category. And we were talking about it, and at that time I was 7 stone 5 when she referred me to like an eating disorder service nearby for cognitive behavioural therapy. And so she says to me, oh, you've got to go to like a meeting. And my best friend Madeline, bless her, who also supported me at university as her job, she came to the meetings with me, and she was really helpful. And it was really hard. It was really hard. And this meeting was like awful questions. It was like, if you were to be detained by the Mental Health Act, which parent would we contact? You know, and it has to be the oldest parent out of the two. And I was like, okay, my dad. And I was just like, okay. And all these things. And it was just, it wasn't great. And I had to wait longer because I'm autistic, and they needed someone that specialises in autism in the room as well. It was crazy. But it was just really difficult. And honestly, I just, I had enough. Like, they kept weighing me all the time, and cognitive behavioural therapy, it didn't help at all. They were just like, and how does that make you feel? And I'm just like, well, that's obvious. So when I was admitted, I was 7 stone 5. Then I got down to 7 stone 3, and they said to me that if I don't stop losing weight, then they were going to keep me there and feed me. And it was getting awful. Like, everything was starting to slip and struggle. And if it weren't for Madeline, then I wouldn't have had support really with anything. And if it weren't for my mum making me go to the appointment, then I wouldn't have mentally kind of fought back and been like, no, I'm going to sort this out myself. But as for how did I get through it, you tell me. You tell me. Because usually with eating disorders, it takes years and years and years and years to get through, like to basically stop being like calorie restrictive, or the particular behaviours that come with that eating disorder and all of that. And they diagnosed me with anorexia, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. So yeah, that is, really hard, really hard. Somehow I got through it. Before I got help from my doctor, I went to like a university mental health day for mental health week, like years ago. And there were like people that worked at the mental health, like eating disorders clinic or something nearby as well, like a different one. And I think I blurted something out saying I wasn't okay, but a bit stronger language, like more serious. They ignored me basically. They didn't even listen, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But that's not the university's fault. That's more the women that came in externally from the NHS's fault, basically. And they were like, oh, I don't know. They just kind of just didn't deal with it, basically. So they didn't deal with it. And then I went to my doctors because, like, Madeline and the other university workers, they were getting increasingly concerned for me. Most people that I was close with were getting increasingly concerned for me. So they suggested that I got help for it. The help didn't help. It wasn't even help. But after that, I was just like, no, I can't do this. I have to get my degree. I have to try my best to beat this, which is so hard to do because, as I've said, it takes people years usually. I don't know how I did it. I've been looked after clearly somehow. Oh, I can't really say much, but what I can say is, by some miracle, I got through it. And yes, an eating disorder is always there. Like, it never fully goes away. Like, once an anorexic, always an anorexic. But very recently in the pandemic, it's really tested it. And what I mean is, because of the lockdowns, I couldn't exercise as much. I couldn't do much of what I wanted to do. That affected me a lot. But I was like, okay, I need to gain weight somehow, because I was 7 stone 7 up until very recently. I don't even know what I am now, and to be honest, I don't even want to say. But anyway, I want to get to this. I want to tell you, I was like, how am I going to gain weight in a healthy way? And I was like, oh, muscle. So I bought some dumbbells, and there was like an arm workout video online that I did through lockdown, and I've got quite, I don't know if you can see, I've got quite a bit of arm muscle now. I'm not like flexing on you or anything, but I'm basically saying this is how I gained the weight, like, you know. So I weigh more now, and it's more of a healthier weight, and I didn't have to gain fat, you know. I didn't. I mean, I've probably gained weight in that kind of way somewhere, but the thing I've learnt the most is, with weight, it's a reversible change. It's not like, you know, an irreversible change. It isn't. It's not like permanent. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's like, for example, if I chopped my arm off, that's an irreversible change, you know, because then you'd have to get a prosthetic. But anyway, what I mean is, if you gain weight or lose weight, you can just alter it, you know. So I've been going to the gym, I've been more active, and whatever I want to change, I will. But I'm doing it for healthy reasons. I'm not doing it because, you know, I'm not counting calories, basically. And I'm not doing it because I have to, because of like an anorexic tendency. It's nothing like that. It's literally just, you know, oh, I don't like this on my body, so I'm going to change it, or I like that, or I don't like this. And it's just that, basically. You know, so that's kind of how I got through it. I mean, music helps me a ton. Having a support network helps a ton, of friends that will listen. Haven't got many of those, but I have a few. It's quality over quantity for your support network. Don't think that you have to have a ton of friends and a ton of people to reach out to, you know. So it's kind of like that, basically. But it's Mental Health Week, Mental Health Awareness Week this week. So I urge you guys to check up on your friends, family, loved ones, etc. Check up on them, ask them how they've been, you know, listen to them, be a good listener. Have like a reciprocal thing going, like they tell you their problems, you tell them your problems. You know, just stuff like that, really. The world is opening up a bit. Well, I say the world, I mean England, because for me, my world is, yes, it's the whole world, but my little bubble is Worcestershire. You know what I mean? So there's that. But something like from May 17th, things are going to open up more. Like restaurants are allowed to have people indoors again. You know, theatres, cinemas can open, all of that. So things are getting better. Things are getting better. It's good. It's brilliant. And we've got through it. You should be so proud that you got through the pandemic, because me and many other people don't know anyone who's ever experienced this before in their lifetimes. Not even my grandparents, who are in their 80s, have experienced a global pandemic before now. Like, it's not, and they have recollection of the war. Like the Second World War or something. My grandma tells me stuff about the war, you know what I mean? So there's people that are alive today that have experienced the war, one of the wars anyway, and hasn't experienced a global pandemic. So they're like, well, we don't really know what to tell you, type of thing at the beginning. So we should all just be so proud of ourselves for hanging on in there, you know. But my kind of challenge to you guys is to comment down below and say, tell me one thing that you do for yourself that helps you mentally, with your mental health. Mine is all my activities. So, for example, going to the gym, piano lessons, guitar lessons. I would say driving lessons, but they're really stressful. But that, and you know, video games and stuff like that. But yeah, see you in another video. I hope that wasn't a shock to you guys, talking about all that stuff. And I hope it wasn't too much of a long, rambly video. I was hoping to get some more bird visitors, because usually they come up quite often. But yeah, sorry about that. They must know that I'm here. Like, all the birds must have been like, oh, Steff's recording by the window. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below with, you know, what I said. Like the video, and see you in another video. See you in another video. I don't know why I can't talk today. Bye.